Welcome back, NACC fans. Andrew Weber here. Hope everyone had a great holiday. I didn't forget about you guys, just taking a break a little bit to spend time with friends and family over the holiday weekend, and handling my birthday as well. But we're going to jump right into it. Review of last week's NACC games. Start out the week with a big win by Concordia Chicago at home against number 24 ranked Benedictine. The Cougars won 90-72, led by NACC Player of the Week Jalen Meeks with 26 points and 8 rebounds, followed by 19 points from Exo Golding off the bench. Rashawn Amos also chipped in 18 points for the Cougars. Benedictine was led by Eric Grigo with 21 points, followed by Kenny Bogus with 16 points and 12 rebounds. Nick Kosic with 13 and Kyle Grabner with 10. The big advantage of the night was the bench scoring of Concordia Chicago, outscoring Benedictine 34-7. CUC also won the rebounding battle, 55-38. Although the Eagles did force 22 turnovers on the night. For the evening, Concordia Chicago shot 45% from the field, 43% from the three, and 75% from the free throw line. Benedictine on the road shot 37% from the field, 27% from three, and 42% from the free throw line. So a big win. First win against a ranked opponent for Concordia Chicago. On December 17th, Wisconsin Lutheran went on the road to Martin Luther and got a win, 75-67 win. Andrew Brudnick led the Warriors with 19 points and 9 rebounds. Alex Van Crete with 12 points and 12 rebounds. And Matty Farner with a double-double as well, with 10 points, 12 rebounds. Off the bench, Zach Zolliger with 10. Wisconsin Lutheran shot 37% from the field, 33% from the three-point line, and 73% from the free throw line, while holding Martin Luther to 37% from the field, 23% from the three-point line, and 63% from the free throw line. No surprise here with two guys in double digits. Double-digit rebounds. Wisconsin Lutheran won the rebounding battle 47-38. Dominican on the road at high-scoring Greenville came away with a 127-114 win. Tyler Guest led the Stars with 27 points and 10 rebounds. Dennis Handy with 16 points. Jackson Smith with 11 off the bench. And off the bench, Nick Lever with 20. DU, Dylan Anderson with 15. And KJ Redfield with 12. DU won the rebounding battle 60-44. For the evening, the Stars shot 58% from the field, 25% from three, and 75% from the free throw line. Made 53 shots off 35 assists. Points in the paint were a big difference. The Stars had 76-48 advantage. Rockford went on a road on December 18th and won at CCIW North Park, 71-69. Brandon Emmerich led the Regents with 26 points and 8 of 16 shooting from three, to go along with a career-high 7 assists to just 1 turnover. The other double-digit scorer for the Regents was Nathaniel Sheed with 19 points. Rockford did lose a rebounding battle, 35-33, but made 25 field goals off of 18 assists. For the evening, the Regents shot 42% from the field, 47% from three, but 54% from the free throw line. On December 20th in Florida, Concordia, Wisconsin got a win over Co. The American Rivers Conference. They won 91-86. All 5 starters were in double digits for the Falcons, led by Jared Jers with 29 points and 10 assists. Jordan Johnson with a double-double as well, 20 points, 13 rebounds. Brandon Keller with 14 points, 13 rebounds. Okolobi George and Joey Zitlo with 11 apiece. Concordia, Wisconsin did win the rebounding battle 47-40. And on the night, the Falcons shot 47% from the field, 30% from the three, and 58% from the free throw line. A big NACC game on December 20th, right before Christmas break. Wisconsin Lutheran went on the road to Aurora and came away with a 71-68 win. The first time in NACC era that Wisconsin Lutheran won at Aurora. The Warriors were led by Andrew Brudnick and Zach Zulliger, led the way with 18 points each. Zulliger grabbed 10 rebounds as well. AU was led by Bailey Vance with 14.6 rebounds, followed by Will Hughes with 11 and Rashad Johnson with 10. Bench production was a big difference as Wisconsin Lutheran had a 40-23 advantage. For the evening, Wisconsin Lutheran shot 54% from the field, 50% from three, 62% from the free throw line. Aurora shot 36% from the field, 22% from the three-point line, and an outstanding 83% from the free throw line. Dominican, in their second game of the week, hosted Knox. Came away with a 75-66 win heading into break. Dominican was led by Jackson Smith with 29 points, followed by Dennis Handy with 13 and KJ Redfield with 11. Braquan Eccles with a big rebounding night with 13 rebounds. They did have an advantage, Dominican, 45-32, as well as the bench production, outscoring Knox off the bench 22-9. Dominican shot 44% from the field, 34% from the three, and 73% from the free throw line. Another NACC game as well. Edgewood went to Lakeland. Lakeland held on for a 74-71 win. The Muskies did have three starters in double digits, led by Jaquan Pegues with 21, followed by Carlos Campos and Zach Hazenstein with 15 apiece. Edgewood was led by Ben Seafield with 28 points and 8 rebounds. Avery Lyons with 13 and 6. Jake Graff with 11 and 11 for Edgewood. Edgewood was without Jake Nagus. Points in the paint were in Lakeland's favor, 48-36. Edgewood did win the rebounding advantage, 48-39. Both teams took care of the basketball. Only 10 turnovers for Edgewood and only 5 for Lakeland. On the night, Edgewood shot 37% from the field, 25% from three, 74% from the free throw line. And Lakeland at home shot 42% from the field, 18% from the three-point line, and 72% from the free throw line. In their final game in Florida, Concordia, Wisconsin, on Saturday, December 21st, played Wartburg. Wartburg, again, another team out of the American Rivers Conference. CU did fall to Wartburg 83-73. Again, another night where all 5 starters were in double digits, led by Old Lake and George with 19, followed by Jared Jers, Jordan Johnson, and Joey Zelo, all 3 with 13 apiece, and Brandon Keller with 11 and 7 for the Falcons. Concordia, Wisconsin did force 18 turnovers and scored 22 points off of those turnovers. Bench scoring was 32-2 in Wartburg's favor. On a night, Concordia, Wisconsin shot 45% from the field, 32% from the three-point line, and 54% from the free throw line. Even though we're all on Christmas break, there are some NACC games going on. Tomorrow night, December 27th, Illinois Tech is playing against Olivet at 4 p.m. And then on Saturday, Illinois Tech plays Hope at 2 p.m. On Sunday, UW Stout is playing Edgewood at the St. Norbert tournament at 5 p.m. And then on Monday, Edgewood gets the winner or loser of St. Norbert and UW Superior. Trine also playing at Concordia, Chicago at 4 p.m. So still NACC games going on. You can catch Illinois Tech playing against Olivet on tomorrow afternoon at 4 p.m. And then on Saturday, Illinois Tech turns right around and plays Hope. On Sunday, UW Stout against Edgewood at St. Norbert. And then on Monday, Edgewood gets the winner or loser of St. Norbert and UW Superior. Trine travels to Concordia, Chicago. So you can catch those all before the new year. But also wanted to do something different heading into the new year and the big push for NACC play. You have just talk about what teams want to get and what I feel like they're going to need heading into the thick of NACC play. We'll start out with Benedictine, who is leading the conference with an 8-2 overall record and 4-1 in the NACC, with their lone loss against Concordia Chicago on the road. But heading into the second half of NACC play, again, and I mentioned it early in the season, Benedictine is a team that has a lot of depth. Obviously their big punch is senior post player Eric Grigo, who is averaging 17.9 points per game, along with a team high 7.4 rebounds per game. Shooting, again, an outstanding 67% from the field. Michael Boatwright is another key contributor, another double-digit scorer, averaging at 13.7 points per game in it as well. Kenny Bogus, a big player for the bench. I apologize. He's leading the team in rebounds with 8.6 rebounds per night. Also a team high 4.3 assists, which is outstanding, while also averaging double-digit points at 10 points per game. That's, again, they're a team that has a lot of depth. You have 3 double-digit scorers in Eric Grigo, Michael Boatwright, and Kenny Bogus. But just shy of double digits, you have Nick Kosich, who's shooting at 39% from the three-point line, averaging 9.8. Then you got Kyle Grabner, averaging 8.8 points per night. Again, shooting 40% from the three-point line. So again, you got all 5 starters averaging between 8.8 points per night and 17.9 points per game. So you got all 5 starters averaging close to double digits. Also off the bench, you got a variety of guys that have been able to contribute. The big thing for them is getting consistency. They've gotten consistency from Eric Grigo night in and night out. Everyone else has been contributing, and as long as they can continue to get contributions from their 5 starters as well as their deep bench, they're going to be a tough team to beat night in, night out. So with 15 NACC games remaining, they're the team to beat right now with a 4-1 record in the NACC. Wisconsin Lutheran was 7-3 overall. Again, another team with 4-1 in the NACC. Who just had a big road win at Aurora with an Andrew Brudnick game-winning 3 at the top of the key. He's a guy. Mr. Brudnick is a guy who is leading the NACC in scoring at 23 points per game. The other X factor has been off the bench Zach Zolliger, who was shooting. It's almost fake reading this number. 78.6% from the field, and it's not like he's shooting 3 for 4 every single night for the Warriors. He's been a key contributor night in and night out for them. He's been consistent all year. He's also averaging, Zach is averaging 11.6 points per game, and he's only started 1 game on the year. Hasn't attempted a 3. He's averaging 6.1 rebounds per him. You got three guys in double-digit scoring for him. Alex Van Crete is averaging 11.1 points per night for him, while also chipping in 5.5 rebounds. Again, another team that knows their strengths and is stuck with it. Everybody knows Andrew Brudnick is their go-to guy, but what he's done, he's not just a scorer. Yes, he averages 23 points per game, but he also averages a team-high 7.3 rebounds per game, and also leads the team in assists. So he's not just coming down and forcing up shots, even though he's attempted 171 shots on the year, with the next highest being Alex Van Crete at 88 shots on the year. But he's also, chipping in 4 assists a night and 5 assists in NACC play. But he's also grabbing rebounds. He's a guy that, he can score in a variety of ways, shooting 35% from the 3, and 49% from the field. The biggest thing is the biggest question heading into the second half of the season with the Warriors are, can they continue to get guys, X factor guys, to contribute? Nights where maybe Brudnick gets a lot of attention and struggles from the field. Can Zach Zulliger continue to shoot an outstanding percentage from the field, as well as big rebounds? Can Alex Van Crete be consistent in making plays? Can Matty Farner continue to provide some scoring, as well as handling the boards? They're averaging almost 40 rebounds per night with an advantage of +4 on the boards against their opponents. Can they continue to do that? I know they surprised some teams, but they also got some tough opponents coming up. Can they handle and continue that remaining into the second half of the season? Another team that is 4-1, after kind of a shaky start to non-conference play, the Lakeland Muskies, currently 6-4 overall, 4-1 in the NACC. They just had a big win last week against Edgewood at home. They had a big win against IIT as well. The biggest thing for them has been consistency from their guards. Yes, Carlos Campos leads them in scoring at 16.1 points per game, but also the big contribution has been Jaquan Pegues, averaging 13 points per game for the Muskies, shooting 45% from the field. They're struggling right now from the three-point line, but they're a team that can get hot. As all these guys are great shooters and have proven it throughout their career. But lately, Jaquan Pegues has been a huge contributor for the Muskies. With a big night last week for him, having 21 points against Edgewood. Zach Hazenstein is another starter for them that is not quite gotten going yet, but he's also a guy that's capable of, going off for a couple 15 to 20 points, 20-point games in a row. So they're 4-1 and playing really well. Like I said, Jaquan Pegues has been, his last 4 games have been double digits, 31 in a overtime win against Marion, 10 against Holy Family, 19 with 17 in the second half against Illinois Tech at home, and 21 last week against Edgewood. They do have a big stretch of games coming up. They're open up the new year at MSOE, then they host Rockford before heading to Illinois Tech, where everybody knows it's not an easy place to win. Again, Lakeland playing very good basketball after a rough start to the year. Concordia, Wisconsin, currently 5-4 overall, 4-1 in the NACC. A lot of question marks coming into the season for the Falcons. Lost a lot of scoring, a lot of production from last year's team, but a lot of new guys, and then also in return, 2 key contributors in Jared Jers and Jordan Johnson, who handle the basketball and have done a lot of scoring throughout their careers. Jordan has been a scorer every year for the Falcons, being a big contributor. He's currently averaging 18 points and 7 rebounds, shooting over 50% from the field. Brandon Keller shooting 60.7% from the field, averaging 7.2 rebounds, second in the team in scoring, and 12.8 points per game. Joey Zelo shooting almost 36% from the 3, another double-digit score with 12 points per game. And then Jared Jers leading the team in 6.7 assists a night. He's had a couple double-doubles already with points and assists. He's also another double-digit scorer at 11.7. And then Old Lake and George, their 5th starter, is averaging 9.3 points per game for the Falcons. So all 5 starters pretty much averaging double digits. The biggest question is, can they continue to get that same production from those 5 starters? Because, as I mentioned earlier in the game last week against Wartburg, only 2 points off the bench. It kind of goes a little bit of both ways. If you look at the minutes per game for the 5 starters, They're between 23 and 36 minutes a night. So a lot of minutes played there, not a ton of bench minutes, but can they get production from that bench? If they can get production from the bench consistently, they're going to continue to be a tough team to beat. After Concordia, Wisconsin, you have Rockford. Rockford's currently 5-5 overall, 3-2 in the NACC with a big road win at North Park last week out of the CCIW. The Regents are led by Nathaniel Sheed with 15.6 points per game, followed by Brandon Emmerich with 14 points, almost 15 points per game. The other double-digit scorer for the Regents is Vincent Eugene. So you have two starters averaging double digits, and off the bench you're bringing in your leading scorer. So again, you got three guys in double digits. A variety of guys have contributed in big ways. Jamar Rivera's had a double-double. Vincent Eugene's had a double-double. Ashton Singleton's had some big scoring games. Justin Kidd. They provided a lot of depth. The Regents go deep into their bench. You got Nathaniel Sheed off the bench playing 22 minutes. Brandon Emmerich as a starter is playing 30 minutes. Vincent Eugene 26 minutes. Cavante Shaw 27 minutes. Jamar Rivera as a starter playing 16 minutes. Ashton Singleton, who's been a starter and a contributor off the bench, playing almost 25 minutes a night. Justin Kidd playing 13 minutes a night. PJ Gray playing 12 minutes a night. Addison Bodie, a guy who started and has come off the bench, playing 16 minutes a night. So you've had a variety of guys that have played a lot of minutes. But the biggest thing is Nathaniel Sheed's missed 2 games this year, both road games. Brandon Emmerich's been up or down, and he's been hot lately, which for me is personally has been great to see. Cavante Shaw's made some big shots on the year. He's had the game winner at Dominican. So the big question for them is, can they continue to rebound the way they have? They're pretty much even on the glass for a team that doesn't really start a true post player. Honestly, I don't think they have a true post player right now. But Jamar Rivera, between him, Addison Bodie, Justin Kidd, they've had guys that have had some big rebounding nights for them because of toughness, because of the type of players they are. Can they continue to battle on the glass and win those battles, which they've done a majority of the games? Can they continue to knock down threes? And can their top guys, can Nathaniel Sheed, Brandon Emmerich, can those guys continue to consistently make plays? Make plays for themselves as well as for their teammates. Brandon Emmerich's averaging 4.2 assists, which is currently a career high for him. So can those guys continue to be consistent? When they're playing well offensively, the Regents have done well. When they've struggled, the Regents have struggled. So biggest question is can they be consistent for the second half of the season's big push? Concordia Chicago, 3-4 overall, a tough non-conference schedule, but also 3-2 in the NACC with the big win at home against Benedictine. Brand new team for Concordia Chicago and Coach Kohler in his first season. Yes, they bring back some great talent. You got Jalen Meeks averaging over 20 points per game and over 5 rebounds a night for him. Shooting some of these percentages that guys are shooting in the NACC this year are outrageous. Jalen Meeks shooting over 60% from the field. Landon Gladney, second in scoring for the Cougars, 14.7 and 8.6 rebounds per night. Another guy who, if you look at his numbers last year, you might say, man, his numbers are down. But he's also got a little bit different role. He's also getting a lot more attention this year from opposing teams. You got Brent Hatton averaging double digits as well as 11.6. And you got Rashawn Amos, another starter for the Cougars, averaging 10.7. And then off the bench, you got Charlie Resnikoff at 9. You got Exo Golding, who's had a couple huge games here lately for the Cougars, at 8.7 points per game. So you got almost 6, 7 guys are averaging double digits, close to double digits, for the Cougars, who are averaging 87 points per game. Um, they're even on the glass with their opponents. They're shooting it pretty well from the 3-point line as a team, 35%. But what they've had is they've had guys step up in each game for them. And it's been somebody different. Jalen Meeks has put up some huge numbers this year. He's been consistent. The biggest thing is he's been healthy this year. He's had first couple seasons. He's had some injuries plague him. But for right now, we're going to knock on wood because I don't want anybody to get injured. And he's a great young man that I hope he continues to have the season that he's having because it's fun to watch. But he's been big. Landon Gladney's been big, and Coach Kohler in his first season has got the guys really bought in to doing what he wants to do. And again, anytime you go to Concordia, Chicago, it's never an easy game. Always been tough in the past, and now with some improvements and some depth, you got you're starting to see those results. Aurora, 3-7 overall, 2-3 in the NACC. You might think the Spartans are down, and if you look at their record, maybe so. But here's one thing I can tell you is it doesn't matter because you can never count the Spartans out. With their style of play, with the talent that they have, they're a team that when things start rolling, man, it's going to snowball for them, and it's going to be scary. Will Hughes leads the Spartans with 14.3 points per game, as well as almost 6.5 rebounds a night. Shooting outstanding, almost 40% from three. Followed by Bailey Vance, double digits, 13.7 and 5.2. Rashad Johnson, a guy who, I think last year was strictly a 3-point shooter. Shooting it well this year, 37%. But he's also added in inside the arc game. He's been attacking the basket, a couple pull-ups. He's a shooter, and he's averaging double digits as well at 10.4. Then you got Shamar Pumphrey, who's a freshman, having a really good year, shooting almost over 40% from the field and 44% from the 3-point line. As a freshman, he's averaging 9.8, 10 points per game on a team with a lot of upperclassmen. So he's a freshman playing well. Can he continue that same production for the next 15 games for the Spartans? Again, they're a team that can they shoot the ball well because they do shoot a lot of threes. Not that that's strictly their game plan, but they are very good shooters. And as you know, when shooters get hot and they start falling, threes more than two. So you're gonna have some nights where Spartans, when they get hot, again, they're gonna be a tough team to beat. And even though they're 2-3 and 3-7 overall, it's still gonna be a tough game. And anytime you can go there, as Wisconsin Lutheran found out, it's never an easy game, regardless of what the Spartans' record is. Then you got Edgewood, who's 2-6 overall, 2-3 in the NACC. Came up on the wrong side of things at Lakeland last week, falling short 74-71. The Eagles, it's kind of been a little bit of a tough year for them. I know, on paper they returned first-team All-Conference player Jake Nagus. Jake's been missing some games. He's only played in 6 games. Not exactly sure what's going on with him. I've heard a few things, but I'm not the guy, the type of guy that goes around and tries to get some gossip and inside scoop on things. I just hope Jake's okay, because again, he's a great player, great young man, and then hopefully it's nothing too serious that he can return to the court soon, because he's a talent that opposing coaches probably do not like building a scouting report against, but you don't want to have somebody of that talent and that type of character not on the court. So hopefully he's healthy and he can make a big push here for the remaining of the season. But they've been led by Ben Seafield, who's been extremely efficient and consistent for the Eagles. He's averaging over 21 points per game, just shy of 6 rebounds. He's a scorer. He's an undersized post player, but he's shooting it, very well from the field. He's shooting 37% from the three. He's added that. I think as a freshman he came in and he was strictly 15 feet and in. Pretty sure there, and he's expanded his game tremendously. Obviously adding the 3-point shot. Ryan Buss is another double-digit scorer for the Eagles at 10 points per game. He's had some big games for the Eagles. So again, yes, they're 2-6, but they've never scheduled easy. Non-conference wise, they're 2-3 in the NACC. The biggest thing is they're 2-2 at home, but they're 0-4 on the road. So again, for them is, can they continue to get the production from Ben Seafield? Can the role players, the second, third guys, like Ryan Buss and Eli Hartjes and Jake Graff and Jacob Miller, can those guys provide consistent production moving forward? They've been without Jake Nagus in some games. He's when he's played, he's been great. Double digits in scoring, leading the team high 4.5 assists for him. He rebounds. He just hopefully he's healthy and can be a key contributor and factor for the Eagles for the second half of the season. Dominican, 5-5 overall, 1-4 in the NACC with their big NACC win at home against Illinois Tech. The Stars completely revamped their roster. Do have some key returners, which have been consistent for them, which have been productive. Jackson Smith lead the Stars in scoring at almost 13 points per game, followed by Tyler Guest, a inside-outside guy with 12.5 points per game, 8.5 rebounds per game. He also leads the team in assists, second in team in assists at 2.6. He's shooting over 50% from the field, shooting 87% from the free throw line. He's had a couple double-doubles on the year. KJ Redfield off the bench in all 10 games. He's another double-digit scorer at almost 11. Then you got Luke McDermott, who's leading the team in assists at 3.3. Again, just shy of being a double-digit scorer. So they're another team that's had productions. Tyler Guest has been consistent. He's been huge all year. Jackson Smith's been playing really well lately with a big game last week against Knox with 29 points. Luke McDermott's hit some big shots for him. Dylan Anderson off the bench. Dennis Handy, another starter for them, averaging almost 8 points per game. He's had some big nights for him. What's been good about this Dominican team is, even though they're 1-4 in the NACC, they lost at home against Rockford on a three-pointer by Cavante Shaw. They went to Wisconsin Lutheran on the road. They did beat IIT at home, so they've had a lot of close games and some games on the road. Is can they continue to get the same production? Can they continue to get Jackson Smith consistently at 13 points? Can Tyler Guest continue to provide pretty much a double-double for him? If they can do that, if some other guys like Luke McDermott and Dennis Handy and Nick Lever and Braquan Eccles, can those guys increase their production in being more consistent, providing whether it's assists, rebounds, points, the more production that they get, because it is a team that shares the basketball, and if you watch them, they play with a lot of energy, play a lot of excitement. The feel from watching them is they feel like, and just from talking to their coaches too, that it's a team that's together. And I think after a big 2-0 week last week, it's feeling really good, and hopefully they can continue to showcase that confidence moving forward. And again, anytime you go to Dominican, regardless of what their record is, it's a tough place to play. MSOE, the preseason pick to win the NACC, 4-6 overall, 1-4 in the NACC with their one win against Rockford. Again, a tough place to play at MSOE. They got a lot of talent in Michael Petroff and Matt Kermsey. Their third and fourth players have been big for them. Travis Ballard, inside presence. averaging 11 points for him. Josh Herzog's had some big games for him, shooting over 40% from the 3-point line. 4.5 rebounds for him. Second team in assists at 3.1. Again, he's averaging 9.3 points per game. Overall, over 11 points per game in NAC play. The biggest thing is consistency with them. Michael Petroff has had some big games, but he's also had some games where in the box score didn't provide much production. Same thing with Matt Kermsey. Even though he's averaging 16.7 points per game, over 4.5 rebounds, two assists a night for him, is when him and Michael Petroff get a lot of attention and they struggle from the field, which they have in a couple games. Guys have to be able to step up, and those guys are Travis Ballard and Josh Herzog, Gabe Ware, where they haven't been key contributors in the sense of providing a lot of statistical production. Those guys have been great role players where they've chipped in some points to go along with MSOE's leading scorers in the past. Can they provide more production? Again, this is just for me. This is outside MSOE's locker room in practice. I don't know what Coach Miller is asking those guys to do. But again, what from an MSOE team is they're going to share the basketball, they're going to defend, and they're going to play hard. They're a team that can easily roll off, 8 wins, and all of a sudden they're right back in the thick of things. But for me, in my personal opinion, is they're going to have to take that next step, is getting the Travis Ballard and the Josh Herzogs and the Dylan Hamlins and Gabe Wares to provide more, to go along with Matt Kermsey and Michael Petroff. Yeah, Marion, 2-8 overall, 1-4 in the NAC. The Sabres have kind of been up and down. Been in a lot of games, a lot of close games, but also struggling in some games as well. Led by Logan Hamilton with 13.5 points per game. Justin Wilson, just over 13 points per game. And then DeAndre Ross, who's averaging 11 points. You got three guys, basically three starters, double digits, between 11 and 13.5 points per game. Josh Streeter off the bench has provided some big games for him. You got Matt Hickey, who's had a couple double-digit scoring games for the Sabres. Trent Fuse, Scott Paulus. Again, those are all guys that have had a double-digit game this season. And the biggest question for them, and what I feel like they're gonna have to have and get from their guys to make a big push in these next 2 months heading into NAC play, is can Logan Hamilton stay out of foul trouble? Because when he's playing, he's an inside-outside guy. He can post up, he can shoot the three, he can take you off the dribble. Justin Wilson, DeAndre Ross, two other double-digit scorers. The Sabres just need more production from outside of those three guys. Those three guys have provided a lot. Logan Hamilton, can he be more consistent? Can he stay out of foul trouble? And can he continue to be the go-to guy? Justin Wilson, DeAndre Ross, key contributors. But can Josh Streeter, Matt Hickey, Trent Fuse, Scott Paulus, can those guys provide more production? With their offense and what they do. Trent Fuse off the bench is shooting 48% from three. 14 for 29 on the year, which is an outstanding percentage. Can he provide more? In 10 games, it's less than three threes attempted a night. Can he do that consistently? Can he get those? Can he get more shot attempts? Can he get more production from them? And then the biggest surprise on the year, the big thing is non-conference wise. Again, they schedule tough. Illinois Tech 1-7. on the year, 1-4 in the NAC. Their one win so far was a 30-point win against MSOE. At home, you have a Player of the Year candidate in Max Hizataki, who again has been providing consistent production for IIT, averaging 17.5 points per game and 11.6 rebounds per night, to go along with a 2.3 blocks per game. He's been great all year, shooting 57% from the field. The one statistical category that's been hurting him in personally is he's shooting only 48% from the free throw line. But Miles Curry, the new transfer from Illinois Wesleyan, scoring 15.5 points per game and 7.6 rebounds per night. Outside of that, you have Otis Reale, who has been in and out of the lineup all year, averaging 8.9 points per game. His assist numbers is at 1.8 night, which when a team like Illinois Tech, who predominantly gets the ball into the post in the way that Max and Miles play, is it's not just catch, turn, and score. Max is a guy that can handle the basketball. He does a great job. He's tough to guard because he can score with both hands. Miles can handle the basketball and attack from the perimeter. So their assist numbers might not be very high, but it's because guys score off the dribble for Illinois Tech. But the biggest thing is their scoring average is 62 points per game. They're giving up 68 points per game. They're winning the rebounding battle with a +3. They're shooting almost 44% from the field. Not shooting it great from the 3-point line, 29%. On the year, their highest is Milos Dulajic at 36.8%. He's shooting it, but again, he's only attempted 19 in 6 games. That's just over 3 threes attempted a night. Their post players are getting a lot of attention. Can their perimeter provide production in being consistent scorers, 3rd, 4th, and 5th scoring options for IIT moving forward? So again, these are just my personal thoughts from following and watching all the NAC games that I possibly can so far this season. I look forward to watching the last 15 games, last 15 conference games remaining, which is still a lot, which is just crazy that in the NAC you're playing 20 conference games. Very similar to the Big Ten. But a lot of games left. I think you're going to see a lot of teams moving up and down in the NAC standings, and I've always felt this in the past, and I don't see this being any different this year. The conference tournament, the top 6 teams for the conference tournament will not be figured out until the last week of the season. You got 4 teams that are currently 4-1. You got 2 teams at 2-3, or 3-2. 2 teams at 2-3, and then you got 4 teams at 1-4. Illinois Tech, MSOE, 2 of the top teams preseason in the preseason polls. Currently 1-4, but they're both teams that can rattle off 5, 6, 7, 8 wins in a row, and before you know it, put themselves right back in the thick of things. Aurora, even at 2-3, on the outside looking in, but again, another team that can get hot and move up in the rankings. Benedictine, everyone I would assume probably pictured they'd be right there at 4-1. Wisconsin Lutheran, Lakeland, Concordia, Wisconsin, 4-1 as well. Again, the biggest thing for really every team in the NAC is, can they get consistent production from their 3rd, 4th, and 5th options? Not just talking about scoring, but can they provide scoring? Can they provide rebounding? Can they provide assist? Defense? All that stuff is being consistent. You'll see if you follow games as close as I do, you'll see games where guys will score, 15 to 25 points one night, and then the next night, not even reaching double digits. So, not sure what it is. It's tough, and basketball is a long year and a long season, especially in the NAC where, it's a league that's dominated by guys that have been around the league for a while. Juniors and seniors, so everybody knows who they are. Everybody's been scouting them for years. It's tough, but again, the good players, the great players, they're consistent. Their coaches know every single night, I know I'm going to get this amount of scoring, this amount of rebounding, this amount of assists. And some nights, a night where, you're a 15, 16 point scorer, and you only get 8, but you're providing that production in other areas, whether it's defense, it's rebounding, or assist. Doing something to make up for that difference in scoring. And you got a lot of players that have done that in a variety of ways. Eric Grigo, Kenny Bogus, and Andrew Brudnick, Brandon Emmerich, Jared Jers, Bailey Vance, Rashawn Amos, Jalen Meeks, all those guys, Ben Seafield, all those guys are great scorers. But if you really look at their stat lines, they're more than just scorers. They're players. They make plays, and a lot of times is, watching that game. Watch outside of your favorite team every once in a while, and you'll see, a guy like Ben Seafield. Yeah, he's averaging over 20 points per game and over 5 rebounds per game, but he does so much more for Edgewood. Brandon Emmerich, yes, he's their second leading scorer for Rockford. Yes, he's shooting the ball pretty well. But really, the thing that really gets him going has been his defense. And for some reason, this is my tidbit is when you take the ball out against Rockford, just be aware, be cognizant, because the young man just he makes plays defensively, and when he's doing that, his offense takes off, and then that's when Rockford's at their best is when he's providing that energy in those hustle plays. Can Matt Kermsey continue to be the guy for them? Can he make shots? Can he rebound? He's asked to do a lot, and last year he was able to do it. He's been doing it pretty consistent this year, but he's gonna need some help moving forward. Can Michael Petroff provide that? Can Josh Herzog provide that? Can Travis Ballard provide that to turn things around for MSOE? Can Dominican continue to build in on the confidence that they've had from a 2-0 week last week against 2 non-conference opponents after a big win against IIT? Can they be consistent with their top guys? When they're playing really well, look at their box scores. Dominican has 3, 4, 5 guys in double digits. Not even just scoring, but you got Braquan Eccles with a double-digit rebounding game. You got guys that are making plays defensively. So again, production doesn't have to be just from scoring. And when these teams are at their best, they have 4, 5, 6 guys that are producing for their teams, which is why Benedictine's been at their best. They have a lot of depth. They have 8, 9 guys that they play that produce for them. And when they have all those guys scoring, they're a tough team to beat. But what's unique about them is they have scorers, they have playmakers, they have rebounders, they have guys that provide things off the bench for them. And when they're getting that, there's a reason why they're 8-2. So it's going to be a fun last 15 conference games for the NAC. Like I said, I think what we see now, I think it's going to be different at the end. And as usual, the conference tournament will not be figured out until the last week. So it's going to be fun to follow. And again, I appreciate it. Everybody taking the time to listen to these throughout the weeks. I enjoy it. It's been fun. And I look forward to a great 2020. And I hope everybody has a happy holiday.